Hello and welcome to the first vlog of the year, and actually the first vlog of Conservatoire East, because last year's commission I didn't do any vlogs. Yeah, commission 2 started this week. This week is the week commencing Monday the 4th of January to Friday the 8th. Commission 2, Midsummer Night's Dream / Raving Madness, yes. Yeah, set in the late 80s, early 90s rave culture, brilliant. This week we have been looking at the audition process and auditioning for Midsummer Night's Dream, and the cast list did in fact go up on Friday, but more of that in the vlog to come. Yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream, there were 3 tasks that we had to do over Christmas, looking at the context of the play, context of the 80s, and basically jukebox musicals and what went on in the 80s. Those can be found on the WordPress. But let's just address the rather large elephant in the room in overalls. It's a onesie. It is a 6'6" Minion onesie. Ironically, I'm now the tallest Minion and probably taller than Gru. And yeah, I got it for Christmas. It has brought joy and warmth to my life since Christmas. But anyway, on with the vlogs. Monday the 4th of January 2016. Today was the first day back. Today we had our lesson in the morning with the year 2s, the year 2 dramas, and a lot of them are going through the audition process for drama schools, etc., for further education. Yeah, we looked at basically notes for auditioning and got some pinpoints and stuff for what they have found whilst doing auditions at drama schools. The main one really is that the judging panel, they don't want you to fail. They are only there to help you, because at the end of the day, if they accept you, you're going to be one of them basically at their school or drama college or academy or whatever, or conservatoire. And yeah, they want to help you. They don't want you to fail. Preparation is always key. You need to be comfortable in what you're doing. And you know that if you're comfortable in what you're doing and you go and you prepare everything and you basically smash it, then they will want you to work for them basically, and they will know that you're not going to drag them down. The other main thing also, which is you've got to be very comfortable with auditioning and also the whole ethos of the place, is are you comfortable there yourself? Can you live with them, and can you actually put up with them? Because at the end of the day, if you don't think you can put up with them, I mean, you may have to change some things and they can change for you, but if there's major things there and you've got another option, then maybe the dream option isn't such a dream, more of a nightmare really. Yeah, a bit deep there. Well, what else? You've got to stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Be who you are, not who you want to be, because at the end of the day, being an actor, we put on loads of different personas and characters and everything, but you have to be your true self. And yeah, if they can't live with you and your true self, and you don't show them your true self, then you're not going to get on very well with them really. Big one with auditions, no matter how nervous you are, be engaging and know your speeches, because if you don't know your speeches, then they're not going to think that you are confident, and they're also going to doubt whether they can work with you. There's no harm in asking. There really isn't. Like, don't be afraid to ask. If somebody says something on the judging panel, or another student that's there to audition, or anyone really says something and you don't understand them, just say, I'm sorry, I don't understand, because otherwise they're gonna A, think you know what you're talking about, B, it might come up in later conversation and you have got no clue whatsoever, and C, saying I'm sorry I don't understand shows that you actually have confidence to speak out and aren't just going along with it for the ride really. Yeah, so they're the notes for auditioning. We then looked at the audition speeches that we would be presenting on Tuesday afternoon, and got into groups with the Year 2s because obviously they've done the speeches and everything, and we basically presented our speech. They gave us some pointers on keeping still and keeping grounded and making sure you actually have a purpose to the speech, and then also we tried it in different ways and different mannerisms. So one of the ones that Aaron got me to do was to act like you were rowing a boat and the boat wasn't really going very far. So you're still doing your audition speech, but you have to put the kind of strength and strain into it as if you're rowing the boat. The Tesco announcement, which was good because it allowed you to see a different rhythm in your voice, and then doing it as if talking to a toddler, because by talking to a toddler you're quite low down but you're also very reassuring to them and just trying to make sure they understand. So that was really interesting because some of them points I did actually put into my final audition, simply because I felt that they were needed, and mainly the Tesco announcement really. It helped me to see the rhythm of Shakespeare and how I could make it comedic, because at the end of the day Midsummer Night's Dream is comedic, and that helped no end really. Tuesday the 5th of January, today we had directed study first of all, so I was doing a bit more extra research into the 80s. I looked at the Big Fat Quiz of the 80s because I felt this would be helpful, because it was it's general knowledge but it was also comedy, and it gave me some real an insight into the 80s, sort of like a whistle-stop tour really, because it looked at news headlines, sport, TV, film, music, general lifestyle, and sort of everything that was going on in the 80s, but mainly the British side of the 80s, and the major headlines really. So yeah, that was really interesting to watch. Made a few notes about it and basically added them to the tasks that I'd done over Christmas. Wednesday, the 6th of January. Today, once again, we had directed study first. So I looked at This Is England, which was very good. I mean, I watched This Is England 90 when it was on the telly anyway, because I'm very interested in the late 80s, early 90s, and just the rave culture. I basically love that era, which is why this commission is a complete godsend really. But yeah, I looked at that, and then in the afternoon we had our lesson with the MTs, and we basically, because some people aren't as confident on the 80s as I am, because it's literally religious to me, but yeah, we basically shared a lot of the things that we'd found so far on the tasks, news stories, sport, lifestyle, basically the same sort of categories of what were in the Big Fat Quiz really, which was quite interesting. But yeah, basically shared a lot of stuff to do with the 80s and early 90s to our peers, and what I hadn't already got I then added to the tasks. So Thursday's lesson, the 7th of January 2016, we went very cultural. We looked at terminology, and within terminology we looked at a lot of art. It was a very arty lesson. We started off by looking at Harold Pinter. He was a playwright. He was realistic but unnaturalistic. We then looked at some definitions. Realism is basically a carbon copy. It's a literal translation of the actual thing. And then naturalism is very similar to realism, but in the actual environment did it actually take place. So whereas realism is a man on a bus on stage sitting on a chair, naturalism would be a man on a bus, but it would either be actually on a bus or it would be on stage and the set would look like a bus. We then looked at symbolism as well. Symbolism, it's a symbol that evokes emotion or an opinion, and it represents something. So one of the examples that we had was the yin yang, because the yin yang is a symbol of equality and peace. Really, it shows that in every good person there is a small bit of bad, and in every bad person there is a small bit of good, and therefore it can quite easily change. We then looked at stylized work. Stylized really, well, the best example I can give is myself as the North Wind in the little pine tree that we did before Christmas. It's stylized because there is no such thing as the North Wind. It's merely a weather depending character, and as the weather is not a character, we basically personified this weather condition and stylized it to become a character, to become a human really, and so that's stylizing really. We then made it a bit arty. We looked at impressionism and narrative. With impressionism, it's the artist or the playwright's take on a subject or an object really, and then narrative, direction and the message of the piece really. It tells a story. The narrative tells a story. Two of my favourite pieces of art are Beer Street and Gin Lane by Hogarth, which I studied ironically at A-level drama as well, because there was so much going on and it definitely has a distinct narrative to it. So, Friday the 8th of January. Yesterday the cast list went up. Usually we don't have lessons on Friday, which is why there's never usually an entry for a Friday in the last lot of diary logs stuff for Commission 1. But yeah, we didn't have a lesson as such. The cast list went up, which I have here. Amazing cast, absolutely amazing cast. Can't wait to work with everyone, obviously. I am very privileged to be playing the role of Oberon, so a lot of research needs to be done into character, actors that have played him, styles, everything really. Can't wait. Titania, who is the closest character to me basically, will be played by Rachel, so yeah, me and Rachel will be brilliant little double acts going to go on there. That'll be very hilarious for weeks to come. Massive congratulations to everyone in the cast, and also the song list is also in here, and full marks on the song list, definitely. Great anthems really, a lot of 80s anthems, couple of 90s ones that are sneaked in there, nice one. Can't wait, brilliant, bring it on. That's the end of the vlog. Throughout the vlog, the soundtrack in the background is classic 80s anthem, New Order's Blue Monday, the original recordings of it, which is why it's God knows how many minutes long. But yeah, every week I will probably have a different 80s anthem on in the background, or some sort of 80s theme. Could be TV or film or anything really, just to lighten up the vlog really. Yeah, but I will hopefully be doing vlogs every week because I'm now no longer working on a Saturday. And yeah, more vlogs to come. So thank you for watching, and yeah, I hope you had a good week as well.